The city hums its own tune, a constant thrum of energy and motion. I was walking out of a small subway station in Manhattan, somewhere in the tangled streets of Koreatown. It was a bright, crisp late afternoon, the kind where the sun slants low and makes everything golden. A happy, upbeat tune played from someone's phone nearby, a tinny but cheerful beat that added to the day's rhythm. Then, a new note entered the melody. It was a smell. It wasn't the usual city mix of exhaust and roasted nuts. This was something different. It was sweet, savory, and just a little bit spicy, carried on a wisp of steam. I stopped mid-stride, my curiosity piqued. The scent pulled me, an invisible thread leading me down the sidewalk. I followed my nose, past bustling storefronts and hurried pedestrians. The aroma grew stronger, more defined. I could now pick out notes of caramelized sugar, a deep umami richness like soy sauce, and the sharp, inviting fragrance of garlic. It led me to a small, unassuming shop with large windows clouded with steam. The glass was warm to the touch, a beacon against the cooling autumn air. A simple, almost shy sign hung above the door, its letters glowing softly. BBQ Chicken Wings. Inside, the shop was a sanctuary of warmth and tantalizing sounds. The air was thick with the promise of deliciousness. A friendly man at the counter offered a small, knowing smile, the kind of look that says, "You found it. You're in for a treat." It felt less like a business and more like I had stumbled upon someone's secret kitchen, a place where food was made with passion. The space was small but alive with activity. The clatter of tongs, the sizzle of oil, and the low murmur of happy customers created a comforting and exciting atmosphere. I knew, even before I ordered, that I had found something special, a hidden gem tucked away in the city's vast culinary landscape. My eyes were immediately drawn to the open kitchen, a stage where culinary magic was being performed. The cook moved with a practiced, almost rhythmic grace. I watched as a wire basket filled with pale, naked chicken wings was plunged into a deep vat of shimmering hot oil. The immediate, aggressive sizzle was a sound of pure transformation. The kitchen was a blur of efficient motion, a dance of ingredients and heat. That powerful, mouth-watering smell that had lured me in from the street was now an immersive experience. My stomach let out an audible growl, a primal response to the sensory overload. This wasn't just fast food. This was a craft. This was something else. The heart of this little shop was its fryer, a gleaming stainless steel beast that worked tirelessly. I watched, mesmerized, as the cook executed a crucial step I knew was the secret to great Korean fried chicken. The wings were fried not once, but twice. The first dip was a quick bath in the hot oil, just long enough to cook the meat through to the bone, ensuring it remained tender and juicy. After this initial fry, the basket was lifted, steam escaping as they cooled slightly. This pause is everything. It allows the surface moisture to evaporate, setting the stage for the second, more violent fry. The cook, with an almost casual flick of the wrist, plunged the wings back into the roaring oil. The sizzle was different, sharper, louder, more intense. This was the baptism of fire that created the signature KFC, Korean fried chicken crunch. The skin blistered and puffed, transforming into an incredibly thin, brittle, golden brown shell. It was a process of dehydration, rendering, turning the chicken skin into something akin to a delicate, savory glass. I could almost hear the crunch just by watching them. The wings emerged from their second fry, glistening and perfect, ready for the final anointing. The menu was refreshingly simple. There were a few options, but all signs pointed to one-star attraction, the BBQ Korean style. The sauce was a thing of beauty, held in a large bowl near the stove. It was deep, glossy, reddish-brown, thick enough to coat a spoon, not so thick as to be gloopy.
Speckled throughout were tiny pieces of minced garlic, toasted sesame seeds. Counter. It's a carefully guarded recipe, a delicate balance of sweet, salty, and a gentle, warming heat from gochujang.
The final step was a dance of its own. The freshly fried, impossibly crispy wings were tossed into a large metal bowl. The cook ladled the glorious BBQ sauce over them, and with a series of expert flips of the bowl, coated each wing perfectly. The heat from the wings warmed the sauce, releasing another wave of aroma. Honey, soy, garlic, subtle smokiness. They didn't let the wings sit and get soggy. This was a quick, last-second glazing, ensuring that the sauce clung to every nook and cranny of the crispy skin without ever compromising its structural integrity. This, I thought, is how it should be done. Honestly, the technique I witnessed is what separates good fried chicken from truly transcendent fried chicken. The double fry method is a cornerstone of the Korean approach, a scientific process designed for maximum crunch. That first fry, at a lower temperature of around 350 degrees Fahrenheit, is about cooking the chicken through. It renders out some of the fat from the skin and begins to dehydrate it. But if you were to stop there, you would have a decent but ultimately unremarkable wing. The skin would be golden, but it wouldn't have that shatteringly crisp texture that makes you close your eyes in delight. It's the rest period that is so ingenious. As the wings sit after the first fry, the internal moisture continues to move toward the surface and evaporates. This cooling and drying process is critical. It prepares the skin for its final transformation. When the wings are submerged for the second time, the oil is typically hotter. This high heat shock rapidly dehydrates the very outer layer of the skin, creating a delicate, almost glassy crust that is brittle and light. It's a texture completely different from the thick, craggy crust of American Southern fried chicken. This Korean style is thinner, lighter, and provides a more satisfying crunch. Think of the skin as a barrier. A single fry can leave that barrier soft and permeable, easily defeated by a wet sauce. The double fry method fortifies it, creating an armor of crispiness. When the warm sauce is brushed or tossed onto these super crispy wings, the crust holds its ground. The sauce adheres to the surface but doesn't penetrate it, so the skin doesn't become a soggy mess. Instead, you get the best of both worlds: a sticky, flavorful glaze on the outside, and a perfectly preserved, earth-shatteringly crisp layer underneath. It's a marvel of food science applied with culinary artistry. This process also ensures the meat inside remains perfectly cooked and succulent. By cooking the chicken through at a lower temperature first, you avoid the common pitfall of fried chicken, a burnt exterior and an undercooked interior. The second, shorter fry is all about the crust. The meat, already cooked, is just gently reheated. The result is a wing where the meat is so tender and moist that it practically melts off the bone. It's a textural journey in every single bite. I found a small table by the window, the city's evening rush beginning to build outside. A few moments later, a basket lined with paper arrived, holding a half-dozen glistening wings. They weren't swimming in sauce, they were lacquered with it. Steam rose in delicate curls, carrying that now familiar scent of sweet soy, garlic, and warm chili. The wings were a beautiful mahogany color, shimmering under the shop's warm lights. I could see the texture of the skin beneath the glaze, a craggy landscape of pure crunch. I picked one up. It was hot to the touch. The sticky glaze clung to my fingertips. The first bite was an event. I brought the wing to my mouth the moment my teeth made contact. There was a loud, resonant crack. A clean, sharp sound, more like biting into a potato chip than chicken. The crunch seemed to echo inside my head. Immediately after that shatter, my teeth sank into tender meat. Juicy, piping hot, wonderfully savory, a perfect canvas for the sauce. The contrast was breathtaking. Brittle, crispy shell giving way to soft, yielding meat inside. I had to pause, just to process that texture. Then the sauce flooded my senses, unfolding in layers. First note, a gentle sweetness, more like deep, dark honey or caramel. Then a wave of savory, umami-rich soy sauce, providing a salty, complex foundation. Just as I was savoring that, a mild, pleasant heat built at the back of my throat. The signature warmth of gochujang, depth and fragrance, not searing pain. A comfortable, glowing warmth that made me want another bite. Finally, the supporting characters arrived. A subtle bite from minced garlic, a nutty, toasty pop from sesame seeds, and a hint of sesame oil. I closed my eyes, a slow smile spreading across my face. It was all there. Every element was in perfect harmony. Sweet, salty, spicy, savory, crunchy, juicy. A complete holistic experience. This wasn't just a chicken wing. It was a story told in flavor and texture. So, what separates these wings from the countless others I've had across New York City? It comes down to three core principles: the crunch of the skin, the juiciness of the meat, the balance of the sauce. Many places get one or two right, but it's rare to nail all three. The double fry technique is the hero behind that crunch, creating a skin like a thin, crispy shell. It shatters when you bite it, a world away from chewy, leathery skin. The juiciness of the meat is the second pillar. Overcooking at high temps leaves wings dry and stringy. Here, a controlled two-stage cook locks in natural moisture. The meat seemed to steam from within, sliding easily from the bone, tender and flavorful. That shows a real respect for the chicken. Most importantly, the sauce didn't sabotage texture. Too many places drown wings in thick sauce that turns crisp to soggy. This sauce was different, a glaze, not a gravy. Applied sparingly at the last moment, it clung without weighing down the skin. The sauce was an enhancement, a partner, not a blanket. When I compared it to a plain, unsauced wing from the same batch, the difference was stark. The plain wing was good, salty, crispy, juicy. But the BBQ wing was on another level. The sauce added dynamic complexity, lifting the plain version from one-dimensional. Layers of sweet, salty, spicy created a flavor journey. Bright, full-bodied, engineered for pure enjoyment. Built for sharing with friends, for pairing with a cold beer, for celebrating the simple joy of finding something truly delicious in the big city. Let's talk more about that sauce because it was the soul of the experience. The profile was a masterclass in balance. The sweetness came first, hitting the tip of your tongue with a comforting warmth. It wasn't the flat, one-note sweetness of corn syrup, honey, mirin, rice syrup. This initial flavor makes the wings incredibly addictive, tapping into a primal craving for caramelized sugar. Next, the umami foundation kicked in, primarily from high-quality soy sauce. It grounded the sweetness and gave the sauce body and depth. The salty counterpoint kept the wings from being just a dessert. That layer had a fermented, meaty complexity that lingered. Garlic, minced finely and woven throughout, added a pungent, aromatic kick, brightening the profile and pairing perfectly with chicken. The heat was the final brilliant touch provided by gochujang. Spicy, sweet, savory. The heat was a gentle, blooming warmth, not an aggressive burn. It enhanced the other flavors. The spice level made your nose tingle and your lips hum without stopping you from grabbing another wing. This perfect balance made the wings endlessly eatable. Finishing touches: toasted sesame oil, sesame seeds. Sesame oil added a nutty aroma and rounded finish. Toasted sesame seeds added tiny pops of crunch. Every ingredient had a purpose. Not random, thoughtfully constructed, each component crucial to the final harmony. While the wings are undoubtedly the star of the show, the supporting cast is just as important for the overall experience. The shop offered a few simple sides, but the one you absolutely must get is the pickled radish. It arrived in a small container, stark white cubes submerged in a clear, sweet and sour brine. This isn't just a side dish, it's a tool. After a few bites of the rich, savory sweet wing, a single cube of that cold, crunchy, tangy radish acts as a complete palate reset. Its crisp acidity cuts through the richness of the chicken and sauce, cleansing your taste buds and making the next wing taste as vibrant and exciting as the first. The shop also had a simple cabbage salad, lightly dressed with a crisp, tangy vinaigrette. This is another excellent choice to balance the meal. For a beverage, you have a few classic options: a simple iced tea, a can of soda. However, for my money, the ideal pairing is a cold, crisp lager. The light bitterness and effervescent bubbles are the perfect foil for the glaze. The carbonation scrubs the palate clean, lifting sticky sauce and prepping you for the next bite. The beer's clean, malty flavor complements the chicken without overpowering it. I ordered a lager, and it was a match made in heaven. Hot, crispy, savory, sweet wings. cold, tangy pickled radish, a bubbly, crisp lager. Each element enhances the others. The wing provides the rich, satisfying core. The radish provides the sharp, acidic reset. The beer provides the bubbly, refreshing cleanse. Together, they create a meal you can keep enjoying, a cycle of indulgence and refreshment. It transforms a simple order of chicken wings into a thoughtfully composed dining experience. What struck me most about the place was its atmosphere of quiet confidence. It felt like a little win, a secret discovered in the vast, overwhelming expanse of the city. The clientele was a mix of locals and those like me drawn by the aroma. People came in alone, typing on laptops between bites. Others came in small groups, sharing plates and chatting softly. The rhythm of the place was steady and comforting. The cook called out order numbers. Staff at the counter wrapped to-go orders with care and precision. I watched a family share a large platter of wings. A small child reached with sticky fingers for a drumette. His eyes were wide with anticipation. He took a big bite. A smear of dark, glossy sauce painted his cheek. A huge grin spread across his face. A delighted laugh followed as the sauce touched his lips. That small sound of joy encapsulated the feeling of the shop. It matched the happy, contented hum in my own head. This was food that created simple, unadulterated happiness. The secret to these wings lies in the deliberate thought behind every choice. The cooks aren't just slinging fried chicken. They practice a craft. They obsess over the crunch. They obsess over the sauce-to-chicken ratio. They obsess over the precise balance of heat. They layer bright sugar. They layer deep soy. They keep the meat juicy while making the skin shatter. They use fresh oil. You can taste the clean chicken flavor. They cook in small batches to hit high standards. You can taste that care and dedication. If you go, here's how to order like a regular. Get the BBQ wings. Ask for an extra side of pickled radish. Ask for an extra napkin. Things get wonderfully sticky. Share a small cabbage salad if you want something green. Drink a cold lager or a simple iced tea. Snag a seat near the window. Watch the city go by. Watch the kitchen work its magic and prepare for a moment of pure culinary bliss. I've eaten a lot of fried chicken in this city. I've had wings drenched in thick, heavy sauces that tasted overwhelmingly of corn syrup. I've had wings so searingly spicy that any other flavor was completely obliterated. I've had the disappointment of a wing that looked crispy, only to find a soggy, flaccid skin underneath. These experiences make you appreciate the difference when you find a place that gets it right. Good wings should feel light and lively, sticky but not wet, hot but not greasy, bright, fresh, impeccably made. I left the shop with a lingering warmth on my tongue, a light sheen of delicious grease on my fingers, a wide, contented smile on my face. That happy tune stuck in my head. The taste stayed with me for much longer. Days later, I thought about the perfect balance of sweet heat and that glorious, resounding crunch. I told a few friends and made them promise to go. They did, and they all agreed. Some of the best wings they'd ever had. New food pops up every day, but rarely does something stop you in your tracks. This BBQ chicken wing did that. It woke up my taste buds. It made me slow down and savor each bite. It makes you want to grab a friend and say, "You have to try this." The shop was small, with a simple sign, but the flavor was immense. It transforms a simple walk into a cherished memory. If you're in Manhattan and hungry, seek out this little temple of chicken. Go with an open mind and an empty stomach. Let the first wing be a quiet moment, just for you. Smell it first. Then take a bite and pause. Listen to the crunch. Notice the layers of sauce unfold on your tongue. Smile when that brittle, crispy shell gives way. You might find you're tasting a small, perfect piece of New York City itself.